what seems like not that long ago, a couple of years ago, when WAAF completed its 50-year incredible run as the biggest rock station in New England. I got to meet Mike Shue because they invited me and Zip in as part of their last day retrospective, and I was honored and surprised too, because we're so old and
I'm not too far behind you, man.
Yes. But I have to say this because I know she's not here this afternoon, but you and Mistress Carrie made me and Zip feel so welcome and like a heritage part of the radio station, and it contributes to this feeling we have today with this whole group of people who are all inspired and influenced and passionate about making a radio station for 50 years. And then this guy over here, Bob Goodell, who's a brilliant manager who has kept it staffed with some of the best legendary talent and keeps it going. And so, Mike,
now who are they? and are they bigger than me?
You've got Mike Shue, you've got Mistress Carrie, and you've got Chuck Perks, who was a little wild on it.
Literally, he was wild on it.
But what you really have the attitude. Yeah. You have the edginess. You have the feeling of a real radio station, which really doesn't always come across. And I really appreciate listening to you. And thanks.
Yeah, well, you guys, it was great having you back in the AAF studio that day. I was so nerding out because I would listen to you guys when I was in high school, getting up every morning, and I'm like, oh my God, Bob and Zip are coming in. I don't care if it's the last day. I've been working here 20 years. I was crying and everything. It's like, Bob and Zip are coming in. I'm like 14 again, going, oh, God does the weather, So I appreciate you coming in that day. I know you were coming down from your bunker in Vermont.
Yes,
I think it was.
And by the way, that's funny you were thinking that, because I'm a very insecure person. Karen remembers that. And so I'm on my way in there going, like, they're probably thinking, like, why do we have to have these old guys on? They haven't been on in 30 years. There's no reason to talk to them. And we walked in, and it was all the love. And that's really, there's a love that started in Worcester with this radio group founded by Dick Ferguson and Steve Marks. And I don't know if anyone, you might remember, Karen, they used to have a mission statement hung up on the wall. Do you remember that? And I'll paraphrase what it said was, this broadcasting company intends to be the best radio broadcaster in the country. Not one of the best. There was this incredible coaching that happened here, and I still feel like it's, those seeds are planted, still coming up. So.
Well, we have a different sign. It says, make sure you shut the lights off before you leave.
And who took my stuff out of the refrigerator?
Right, that's right. This is my lunch. Right. You touch this, you're dead.
Yeah. So talk about you today. How's it going? How you feeling? What's cool?
I'll tell you, I spent the day raking leaves. Still not cool, as long as I've lived here. But no, this is great. I'm so glad that Bob, gave me the opportunity to do mornings here. And I live in this city. I've lived in this city for the past 23 years, and I love it dearly. And it's come such a long way since I moved here. So it's really great to actually be working in the city I live in
and love
and love.
Yeah,
right. Not that I didn't love Boston, but I lived here and I had to drive into Boston, which eventually will make you hate Boston and the world. Really, yeah. Being on the Pike that
and
long
the Department of Transportation.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So, do you live close by?
I live like 5-10 minutes away.
5-10 minutes.
Yeah,
you can't do that in any other city, by the way.
Right. Yeah. Which is, I know. I'm so blessed. That's so blessed. 5-minute commute. It went from like 2 hours to 5 minutes, which is great. But it makes such a huge difference, because every time I go out, like before, like this job, you're always prepping. You're always doing prep. But here, it's something that I'm really, really love and really interested in. Cool. Which is great.
Tell me a story of something that happened at WAAF that you might not have told anybody.
Get the bleep button ready.
Yeah, Kevin.
And hand on the no.
Kevin Barber's like, don't look at me.
It's been a while now, and it's all the statute of limitations is probably passed.
Right. Yeah. Right. Geez, I guess. Well, since my boss is right here, I might,
all right.
I might
Maybe
as well
the
get
statute of
I
limitations.
might as well get fired directly for saying this on the
He's
air.
close by.
So my third night on the air at WAAF, I was doing overnights, and I was on after Mistress Carrie, who was doing nights at the time, and who does afternoons here now. I walk into the studio, and there are two women. One is in a office chair with her legs up, and the other one is, let's just say, using a device on that woman. And she was recording.
That's the ruffle paper thing.
Yeah, and I was like, "What's going on?" This is my third night working here. So apparently, this was like a porn star, Alicia Class, and she was good friends with Mistress Carrie. And so she invited her up, and then some young lady called, wanted to get into the business, and she said, "Come, like kind of like your story. Come on up. We'll give you an audition." Like Karen was talking about with the guy in the bumper stickers. And so that's what they did. She recorded it, but I don't think it aired.
Part of your initiation. Yes. Oh. What a different time.
Yeah. That was late 90s. Things have changed
a little bit.
Very much since
How
then.
do you think?
Now we have an HR department.
Yes,
yeah, right. Yeah. Was there an HR department back then at AF? I didn't even know one existed.
Oh, that's a beautiful story. Now I'm really having a.
Well, it's for the kids.
Well, I feel like I need a shortbread cookie or something to clear that from my mind. No, that's beautiful stuff. And here at the Pike, all of this talent has come together and put together Worcester's Rock Station, which really, I mean, it's kind of should be AAF. We actually talked about that earlier.
Well, I believe AAF is now somewhere in Scranton. Is that right? They put it at some little AM station in Scranton or something like that?
We want those call-ins.
Yeah. I think they put it on a lemonade stand with a closed circuit AM transmitter.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Just to keep it from being used. But but the heritage and the great radio spirit survives. And Mike, who else do we need? We are. What are we doing on time here? Are we?
I think we're pretty good.
We're pretty good. So the whole rest of the time is Mike's shoes. No one else is coming.
Yeah, that's right. It's just me from now on. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to talk to Harvey Warfield, the Commander-in-Chief of the Rock and Roll Air Force. He DJ'd a junior high school dance, the Wilson Junior High School dance in Natick. That's where I met Harvey. He was wearing one of the classic satin WAAF radio jackets. He had a brilliant mustache, beautifully feathered hair, and he was wearing mirrored sunglasses inside in a dark room. And I'm sure was just sober as a priest.
The theme continues, by the way, that each generation here was inspired by their heroes from the previous generation.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. Like I listened to you guys. I listened to Harvey.
Yeah.
I was talking to Karen earlier. I met her when I interned at BCN. E.J. Crummy. Remember him?
Right.
E.J. Crumcake, sure. And Ian O'Malley. And, I listened to all those. You guys were all the people that inspired me to jump into this business. I know, really. Yeah, right? And I'm continuing the tradition, apparently.
Well, I would call that diversity of a certain kind. Yes. All right. Mike, thank you so much.
Thanks to you guys.
And for how well you greeted us. Much appreciated.
Yeah, well, thank you for being here. And congratulations, Bob. National Radio Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Seriously, that's a big deal.
That's all canned applause, by the way. No one was actually applause. Thank you. Well, I will say this about that. It's certainly wonderful and honor. Some people say, well, awards don't mean anything. And I say, well, yes, they do.
Yeah, when you win them, they do. Yeah, but absolutely.
but so many of the people in radio, I have so many radio heroes, whether they win awards or not, just all the people with the passion, I would have been happy with runner-up. But it's thrilling. And I'm a little nervous, actually. I got to go to New York. I got to stand up on stage.
Is it like the Baseball Hall of Fame? Is there going to be a bust of Bob Rivers?
No.
No.
No, but it's and it's well done in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame kind of tradition. And there'll be a produced piece about you, which I will not get to see. And then someone will get up and say something nice about me. And then all I have to do is not sound stupid for the next 5 minutes.
Wow, only 5 minutes.
Yes, so I know. But I'm going to tell, and I'll let you guys in on this a little bit. I'm going to tell my origin story, which starts right here, and it'll involve people like Dick Ferguson and Steve Marks, who created this company called Park City Communications that eventually became New City Communications, and the company spirit that they embodied. They did things like this. Each employee had a stock ownership program. They had a thing called ESOP, where if you worked there, you were part of a team and you built up shares. And I mean, it was money. It was real money, it was real money in 1980. And they did that because they wanted everybody to feel like an owner of the radio station and a team spirit. And so that was a big start of my career. And Dick Ferguson, who started all of this, is going to be there Thursday night.
Wow.
So I feel like, that's just magical. And the other stuff that happened, the Baltimore, I was completely drug fueled, looking for rehab. That was a disaster. And then in Seattle, a sort of a rebuilding of a show. But really, the show and the career has always been me and Zip, still best friends to this day. And then building this like family of people in Seattle and navigating. And you were in Seattle for a little while, Karen.
Yeah, but I have a question
Sure.
even before that. When were you in Rochester, New York, working with Brother Wheeze?
I wasn't.
Brother Wheeze.
I would go to a seminar called Morning Show Boot Camp every year where the Brother Wheeze show would go. And I became super good friends with his sidekick, BJ Shea, because we were the two uncoolest people at the convention. And so over the years, I admired him. And BJ came out to work in Seattle, as you did.
Yes, I did.
Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy. Well, I competed with Brother Wheeze and lost terribly in the morning show, but I did get a chance to go to Valdez, Alaska, and cover the Exxon oil spill, which was incredible.
You were the bomb in Valdez.
I was the bomb in Valdez. I drank with Joseph Hazelwood.
No kidding. You poured the drinks.
I poured the drinks, and he just drank. And then, later on in his life, about 3 years later, he actually gave classes in navigating boats and ship and oil tankers.
Yep.
After he,
of course, he became a consultant, like most failed people do.
Yes.
Joe Hazelwood. Yes. If you don't get the Joe Hazelwood reference, that's the Exxon Valdez. A lot of birds got dirty. Yeah. Karen, so good to see you. All right, are we ready for a break? Or are we... all right, let's take a quick break, and we'll come back. More great radio stars at 100 FM The Pike, Worcester's rock station rock radio reunion.